What if I told you that the universe has been screaming your name your entire life, but you've been wearing noise-canceling headphones? Every single day, reality is dropping breadcrumbs directly in your path. The exact song that hits different when you're thinking about that person. Numbers that stalk you like they know something you don't. That random conversation with a stranger who somehow has the precise answer to the question you've been wrestling with for weeks. You've called them coincidences, but somewhere deep in your bones you've always known better, and you're absolutely right. These moments aren't accidents, they're intelligence, they're reality itself trying to upgrade your life, but you've been programmed to look the other way. Ancient civilizations built entire belief systems around these patterns. Mystics dedicated their lives to decoding them. But our modern world, they've rebranded them as luck, chance, or your brain playing tricks on you. Because here's what they don't want you to discover. Synchronicities are proof that everything you've been told about reality is incomplete. Today we're ripping off the blindfold and revealing what synchronicities actually are, why they're accelerating in your life right now, and how you can turn them into your personal GPS for creating the impossible. From the moment you could speak, you were indoctrinated into the cult of logic. Everything needed a scientific explanation. Anything that couldn't be measured, weighed, or reproduced in a lab was immediately labeled as imagination or wishful thinking. But what if this conditioning wasn't innocent? What if it was strategic? Think back to when you were 7 years old. You had supernatural intuition. You could feel when someone was about to call. You knew when something big was about to happen. You could sense the invisible threads connecting everything around you. But every time you shared these experiences, what happened? That's just your imagination, sweetie. You're being silly. Focus on what's real. Slowly, systematically, they trained the magic right out of you. School became the finishing academy for this programming. They didn't teach you to trust your inner compass, recognize patterns, or read energy. They taught you to memorize, conform, and never question the official story. Creativity, intuition, abstract thinking, those were distractions from the real subjects. The message was crystal clear. If you can't prove it in a laboratory, it doesn't exist. And if you question this model, you're labeled a conspiracy theorist. Science, not real science, but the mainstream materialist version, became the ultimate authority. Under this paradigm, synchronicities are nothing but cognitive biases. Your brain seeing patterns where none exist. You notice 11:11 on the clock repeatedly. That's just confirmation bias. You meet your soulmate at exactly the right moment. Pure statistical probability. Everything gets stripped of deeper meaning, leaving you disconnected from the intelligence that's been guiding you all along. But here's what they conveniently forgot to mention. Some of the most brilliant minds in history, Carl Jung, Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, all recognized that reality operates on principles far more mysterious than randomness. They understood that synchronicities weren't glitches in the matrix. They were features. Yet if you openly discuss these experiences today, you'll be branded as spiritual, irrational, or delusional. The people who embrace these signs get dismissed as woo-woo, while those who deny them get celebrated as rational and intelligent. This isn't accidental, it's strategic. Because the moment you start recognizing synchronicities, you realize something that changes everything. You're not separate from the universe, you're co-creating with it. And that's exactly what they don't want you to discover. Right now, you're thinking of someone you haven't talked to in months. Before you finish watching this video, they're going to text you. Or maybe it's subtler. You've been wrestling with a major decision, and suddenly the same phrase keeps appearing everywhere, in conversations, on billboards, in random articles, as if reality itself is trying to tell you something. These aren't accidents. They're not your brain playing tricks on you. They're something far more profound. Synchronicities are the universe's way of showing you that everything is connected. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every intention you set sends out a frequency, like a signal into the cosmic web. And synchronicities, they're the responses. Carl Jung, who literally coined the term synchronicity, witnessed these meaningful coincidences so frequently that he dedicated years to studying them. He concluded they weren't random events, but expressions of a deeper, hidden order, a concept that mystics and philosophers had been teaching for thousands of years. Eastern traditions call it karma, indigenous cultures call it the web of life. Quantum physicists are starting to call it non-locality. The idea that everything in the universe is fundamentally entangled beyond space and time. But mainstream science still pretends this doesn't exist, despite the evidence being everywhere. Look around. The entire universe operates on patterns. Nature follows fractal geometry. Planetary orbits align in perfect mathematical ratios. Your DNA is encoded with repeating sequences. Everything from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy follows an underlying design. So why would human experience be exempt from this cosmic order? It's not, and synchronicities are the proof. They're the moments when the invisible architecture of reality becomes visible, when the simulation glitches just enough to show you the code running underneath everything. But if synchronicities are messages, then who or what is sending them? Some believe it's your higher self, guiding you toward your destiny. Others think it's the collective unconscious, the shared reservoir of human experience that Jung described. Some even believe it's an external intelligence, whether you call it God, the universe, or something we don't have a name for yet. Whatever their source, one thing is undeniable: they're not random. They're invitations to wake up, pay attention, and realize that you have far more influence over reality than you've been taught. Because once you understand how synchronicities actually work, everything changes. If synchronicities are messages, then how exactly are they delivered? What's happening behind the scenes that causes these perfect alignments to appear exactly when you need them? The answer lies in understanding a simple but revolutionary principle. Your mind isn't just observing reality, it's actively shaping it. Your brain has a built-in filtering system called the reticular activating system, or RAS. This network determines what information makes it to your conscious awareness and what gets filtered out. You've experienced this. Buy a red car, and suddenly you see red cars everywhere. They were always there, your brain just wasn't programmed to notice them. The same mechanism applies to synchronicities. The moment you start believing in them, expecting them, looking for them, your RAS shifts its focus. Suddenly, meaningful coincidences start appearing more frequently because you're finally tuned into the right frequency. But it goes deeper than neuroscience. Quantum physics has revealed something that would have sounded like magic to previous generations. Consciousness itself influences reality. The double-slit experiment proved that the simple act of observation changes how particles behave at the most fundamental level of existence. This means reality isn't fixed. It's responsive. It's interactive. Now combine this with the law of vibration. Everything in the universe, including your thoughts and emotions, operates on specific frequencies. When you're vibrating at the frequency of fear, scarcity, or doubt, you attract experiences that match that energy. But when you align with gratitude, purpose, or expectation, reality starts reflecting that back to you. This is why people who believe in synchronicities experience them more often. It's not just that they're noticing them, it's that their consciousness is literally tuning into the frequency where synchronicities exist. Your subconscious mind plays a massive role in this process. While your conscious mind is focused on daily tasks, your subconscious is constantly processing deeper connections, recognizing patterns and linking information in ways your logical mind can't comprehend. When you set an intention, whether consciously or unconsciously, your subconscious begins orchestrating reality to align with that outcome. This is why people who strongly expect synchronicities to appear suddenly find their lives filled with meaningful coincidences. But skeptics will argue this is all just selective attention, that synchronicities are random events your brain chooses to notice. If that were true, why do these events carry such profound personal meaning? Why do they align so perfectly with your inner experience at exactly the right moment? And why do they consistently guide people toward life-changing decisions? Because synchronicities aren't coincidences. They're a form of communication between your conscious mind, your subconscious, and the deeper intelligence that governs existence. The key is learning to work with them instead of dismissing them. Here's the million-dollar question. If synchronicities are happening constantly, why do some people live in a flow of perfect timing while others feel completely disconnected from any guidance? The answer is simpler than you think: awareness, alignment, and belief. Most people spend their entire lives trapped in a mental prison of materialism and doubt. They've been conditioned to believe that life is purely mechanical, a series of random cause and effect events with no deeper meaning or intelligence behind them. This belief system creates an energetic barrier that blocks synchronicities from entering their awareness. Even when meaningful coincidences happen right in front of them, they explain them away as irrelevant, refusing to acknowledge the deeper pattern at play. It's like being in a room full of radio signals but refusing to turn on the radio. The frequencies are there, you're just not tuned in. Now compare that to people who live in synchronicity. These individuals aren't special or gifted. They've simply trained their consciousness to be receptive to the signs around them. They don't dismiss unusual alignments as chance. Instead, they pay attention, trust their intuition, and follow the breadcrumbs. And here's the fascinating part. The more you acknowledge synchronicities, the more they multiply. This happens because of two powerful forces working in tandem. First, the subconscious connection. Your subconscious mind is constantly absorbing information beyond your conscious awareness. It recognizes patterns, hidden connections, and emerging opportunities that your logical mind completely misses. When you focus on synchronicities, you're programming your subconscious to seek out more of them. It's like upgrading your internal search engine. Once you tell your mind that synchronicities matter, it starts filtering reality to bring them to your attention more frequently. This is why some people seem to have supernatural luck. They're not lucky. They're unconsciously directing their reality by training their awareness to notice opportunities that others completely ignore. Second, the law of vibration. Everything operates on frequency, including your thoughts and emotions. When you're stuck in low vibrational states, fear, doubt, negativity, your energy contracts and your awareness shrinks. This makes it nearly impossible to recognize synchronicities, because your perception gets locked into survival mode. But when you raise your vibration through practices like gratitude, mindfulness, or meditation, your energy expands. You become aligned with the flow of universal intelligence, and synchronicities start appearing because your consciousness is now operating on a frequency that allows them to come through. This is why people who meditate or practice mindfulness often report explosive increases in synchronicities. They've cleared the mental static and tuned their awareness to reality's hidden order. But there's one more crucial element: trust. People who experience frequent synchronicities don't question whether a sign is real. They follow it, they act on the signals, and in doing so they reinforce the pattern and invite more guidance to flow through. Most people fail here. They see the signs but hesitate. They second guess. They wait for more proof. This breaks the connection and causes the synchronicities to fade. Because synchronicities aren't just messages, they're opportunities for co-creation. The universe is showing you a door, but you have to choose to walk through it. Synchronicities are everywhere, but most people don't know how to decode them. They're like messages, written in a language you were never taught to read. Until now. The universe communicates through three primary channels. 1. Numbers and repeating patterns. Aura noticed the same numbers appearing everywhere. 1111, 333, 77. These sequences aren't accidents. In ancient traditions, numbers were considered the blueprint of creation. When specific sequences start stalking your awareness, it means your reality is shifting. Pay attention to what you're thinking or feeling when these numbers appear. Your subconscious is trying to deliver a message. 2. Symbolic encounters. Reality speaks in symbols. The same song playing at the perfect moment. A specific phrase showing up in multiple conversations on the same day. An animal crossing your path when you need guidance. If something feels significant, it is. Trust that first instinct. Your intuition is far more sophisticated than your analytical mind. 3. Unlikely events and perfect timing. These are the synchronicities that make your jaw drop. The moment when everything aligns in ways that logic can't explain. You're about to give up on a dream, and suddenly the perfect opportunity lands in your lap. You randomly meet exactly the right person at precisely the right time. These aren't flukes, they're course corrections from the universe itself. How to decode the messages. When a synchronicity appears, stop everything and ask, what was I thinking or feeling right before this happened? What decision am I currently facing, and how does this relate? Is this confirming or challenging something I've been questioning? Have I seen this pattern before? Start keeping a synchronicity journal. Write down every meaningful coincidence, no matter how small. Over time, you'll see patterns emerging, recurring symbols, repeated messages, and clear guidance taking shape. The more you track synchronicities, the more they'll appear. But here's the secret. Recognizing them is only half the equation. Acting on them is what transforms your life. Most people treat synchronicities like entertainment, interesting coincidences to notice and forget. But synchronicities aren't just signs. They're invitations to step into a reality where things flow in your favor. The question is, are you ready to accept the invitation? Here's how to transform synchronicities from passive observations into active tools for reality creation. Step 1. Set clear intentions. Synchronicities respond to focus. The more specific your thoughts and desires, the clearer the signs become. If you want guidance, ask for it directly. Show me I'm on the right path. Reveal the next step toward my purpose. Bring me the right people and opportunities. The key is remaining open to how the answers arrive. The universe doesn't communicate in linear, predictable ways. It speaks through experiences, emotions, and seemingly random encounters. Step 2. Align your energy. Synchronicities are a reflection of your vibrational state. If you're operating from resistance, doubt, or fear, you block the flow. But when you shift into trust, excitement, and receptivity, the signs accelerate dramatically. This is why synchronicities often spike during major life transitions, when you're stepping into unknown but aligned territory. Practices like meditation, gratitude, and visualization put you in a state of openness where synchronicities can flow freely. Step 3. Take aligned action. This is where most people fail. They see the signs but hesitate. They wait for more confirmation. But synchronicities aren't just messages to observe, they're catalysts for movement. If you keep seeing the same symbol, number, or message, it's not random, it's a nudge. If you feel drawn toward a new path, person, or opportunity, that's the universe opening a door. Walk through it. Here's the most important part. Synchronicities multiply when you follow them. The moment you start trusting the guidance and acting on it, reality begins rearranging itself around you. The more you listen, the louder the signs become. The universe rewards movement. People who live in deep flow with synchronicities don't ignore the guidance, they take action. And as a result, they begin operating in a reality where opportunities, connections, and perfect timing become the norm. They're not waiting for life to happen to them. They're co-creating with the intelligence of existence itself. Now you know the truth. Synchronicities aren't accidents. They're intelligence. Reality has been trying to guide you your entire life, and now you finally have the decoder ring. But here's where most people will drop the ball. They'll finish watching this, feel a moment of excitement, and then slip back into old patterns. They'll notice a synchronicity tomorrow and dismiss it as coincidence. They'll receive clear guidance but let fear stop them from taking action. They'll wait for more proof, more certainty, more confirmation. But certainty never comes before action. The system has programmed you to ignore these signs, to explain them away, to stay disconnected from your own power. But now you see through the illusion. You understand that reality isn't random, it's responsive, it's intelligent, and you're not just moving through it, you're actively shaping it with every thought, emotion, and decision. Synchronicities aren't happening to you, they're happening for you. Every alignment, every moment of perfect timing, every repeating number or meaningful symbol is an invitation to step into a new way of being, to trust instead of doubt, to expand instead of contract, to act instead of hesitate. If there's one thing you remember from this, let it be this: do not ignore the signs. The universe speaks in whispers first. If you don't listen, the messages get louder. If you keep ignoring them, they stop coming entirely and you drift back into unconscious patterns. But if you listen, if you start treating synchronicities as real guidance, your entire life can transform. The people who experience the most synchronicities aren't lucky. They're awake, they're paying attention, they're acting on intuition and trusting the process. And because of that, life moves in ways that seem effortless, as if invisible forces are working behind the scenes to align everything in their favor. Because they are. You've seen the patterns, you've felt the alignments. Now it's time to stop second-guessing and start trusting. Pay attention, follow the signs, act on them. And understand this: those who know and choose to act are no longer just individuals. They are part of the circle. If these words stirred something in you, it wasn't an accident, it was a summons. The signs chose you to be here, right now. Do not walk away and fade back into the sleepwalkers. Like, subscribe, comment, stand with us, walk with us, align with those who see the code behind reality. Because once you step into this alignment, you are not alone. You are part of the few who awaken, the few who listen, the few who answer the call. Welcome to the circle. Thank you for watching.